Today I set out to answer the question, exactly how much can I knit in a day? Thanks Squarespace for sponsoring this video. It's one of those rare slow days that I get to do whatever I want. Arthur is off spending time with family, and Dad and I get to stay home and relax. And you know, for me that means knitting on my favorite project of the moment. I mention this often, but knitting has slowed down quite a bit for me when I compare it to years past. It could be enthusiasm, because when I first rediscovered knitting, you couldn't pry those needles out of my hands. And as time goes on, a borderline obsession can slow down into something more mundane. And then for health reasons, my wrist didn't want to cooperate, and lastly, the most obvious, being my growing family and priority shifting. Anyway, reflecting on this, I was curious, how much can I knit in a day if there was nothing stopping me? So grabbing that project of the moment, this is sweater number 15 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and finding a cozy corner of the house, I'll do just that. Hi guys, welcome here. If you're new here, my name's Bethany. I'm the girl behind Well Love Knits, and today I am baby free. So I thought it would be fun to dedicate this day, just to knitting, to some self-care knitting, and take you guys along with me on that. I was curious, how much can I knit in a day? And I actually tried to film this video before with Arthur around, and I don't know, it just was kind of boring. So we'll see if this is actually interesting and it actually gets the light of day. But considering that I have just an entire day to myself, why not see how much I can get done? So it's not going to be like those traditional 24 hours. I'm not going to do the entire from when I start to 24 hours later. This is just, however much I can get done in the day. We're starting a lot later than I was expecting to, because morning stuff, of course, like getting Arthur ready and dropping him off and that sort of thing, took a lot of time. So it is 10:30 almost. Did you even see that? It's 10:30 almost. So I'm all set up here. I am working with a very fun project. This is something that I cast on a whim, but it's been a project that I've always had in my mind. I've been wanting to knit this for years, and I just never have. Because I couldn't decide on what yarn to use. I couldn't decide if I was ready for cables. But I'm glad that I honestly just spontaneously cast this one on, and I just picked yarn that felt good in the moment. And I'm really happy that I did that, because I've got this really beautiful blue work in progress right now, and it's really nice to have this color in my hands, on my needles. So my game plan here is to just knit. Have a nice relaxing day, a day to myself, self-care knitting, like I said. But it also would be nice to add that little challenge in there and see just how much I can get done in a day. So I've just about finished the back of this sweater, and soon I will need to work on the front. So a goal that I have for today is to try and finish the yoke. I want to see if that's something that's possible. I still have another step to do to shape the shoulders for the back piece, and then I'm moving on to pick up stitches for the front. It's so squishy. This is just a really beautiful project so far. Very simple. Worlds different from the other cable project that I had started. Much more relaxing and intuitive, I think, just so far in what I've been able to knit up. And I really just love how squishy a project is with cables. I'm happy about the color, I'm happy about the project, I'm happy to have some time to myself to sit down. So without further ado, we gotta get into it. I need to see how much I can knit in a day. So I'm gonna get started knitting. So it cannot be stated enough how much I love this color on my needles right now. I'm working with a cone of woolly knit fiber and some kid silk mohair by Drops Design. These are two brands that I think I will always keep coming back to because I think they both produce great quality yarn at a decent price point. For the woolly knit cone, I'm working with their British wool in indigo, and that Drops Design mohair is a rich cobalt blue and the colorway 21. The cone is definitely more heathered. It's not a true solid blue. There is grays and whites sprinkled throughout, which I wasn't sure how the fabric would knit up, but paired with the mohair, it really makes no difference. You really can't tell on camera. I mean, look how electric it is. And in person, you can pick up more of like a dusty finish on the fabric, but I actually really like that. It's kind of like it's been worn before. So I'll be also curious to see how it wears. You know, if it's starting out looking worn. I mean, not in like a negative way, in like a nice way. Like that, oh, that really nice worn sweater. So regardless, I think it's stunning. It's truly not my usual, and that's what I'm so thrilled about. It's just the color alone makes this project just so magnetizing to my hands, and it makes me always want to work on it. So this is, like I said, the project of the moment for me. Going back to the pattern, I think that this is a better choice for a first cabled sweater project, definitely. It really is so much more simple than the other one I was doing. The repeat is really easy to keep track of, and all of the cables are twisting in the same direction, so, I mean, it's a no-brainer. I'm doing the same motion over and over again. So, and really, it's a cabled sweater like this is just mostly knitting and purling, which, you know, only every so often do I need to focus and do the twist. So it's very repetitive but relaxing. So there's just enough to keep you active and engaged, and then you can also go on autopilot if you need to. But like, anyway, when you come to this realization of how easy something like this is, like I said, I wanted to knit this sweater for years. It makes me want to kick myself for waiting so long. But that's 2024 for you, for me. No more excuses, no more overthinking. Knit what feels right in the moment and don't look back. And yes, by the way, I was knitting cables with one of my DPNs. A cable needle would probably have been a lot less fiddly to work with, and I wouldn't look like a dog with a bone in my mouth, but as usual, I wanted to go with what I already had on hand and didn't want to invest any more into knitting gadgets that I might not use. I mean, let's just see how this project goes. I'm already feeling cable knit fever, so there's definitely more projects, similar projects to come. And anyway, maybe I'll never find the need for them, because I know that there are experienced knitters like Casey Apple from Young Folk Knits. She mentioned that she just leaves her stitches loose and, you know, no needle needed. I wouldn't brave that with this kind of yarn. It's not as full and springy to work with, but maybe I might become skilled like that in the future. Who knows? Let me interrupt this knitting session with just a quick word about the sponsor of today's video, which is Squarespace. You guys know that I love Squarespace. I talk about them all the time. They are the #1 sponsor of this channel, and for good reason. I just love supporting them because I use them and I'm very happy with their services. You can start simple by choosing from one of their beautiful themes and layouts, and then add features as you go. So start a newsletter, collect memberships, schedule appointments. Squarespace has a lot of features that cater to your needs. So definitely check out Squarespace. There's a link in the description for you to start a free trial with them to play around and see what you think. Then when you're ready to launch, you can get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain using my code. So thanks, Squarespace, and let's get back to the knitting. Okay, so that took a lot longer than I thought. I thought the last portion I had to do for the back was a lot quicker than that, and it was not. So I'm just now finishing. It is over an hour and a half later. It's 12:04. So I think maybe the idea that I'm gonna get the yoke done today is a little ambitious. So now I can move on to the front portion of the sweater and start shaping the shoulders and the neckline. So I need to cut the yarn. I need to find scissors. No, I don't actually. And I can start picking up stitches, which is really great. So I'm gonna do that. But first, a lunch break, I think. Okay, so here's just a nice look of the back part of the sweater right now. I'm really loving that the shoulder shaping, like that nice cabled line going down the shoulders is gonna look so, so good. After that, it was a well-deserved lunch break, and while I was at it, I figured why not make some banana blueberry muffins for the family. And so I was back at it again on the couch, timing myself this time. So you can see I had the iPad out to kind of just keep track of my muffins, but I thought at the same time I could keep track of what I was doing here. So I think I only got in 25 minutes is how long the timer was going for. I only managed to pick up stitches and maybe work 3 rows, if that. But it's funny to me because if you would have asked me how long it would take me to do one repeat for the shoulder, I would be like, oh yeah, 25 minutes, but that's obviously not the case. And I think that's just a testament to knitting and how mesmerizing it is. And I think that that shows me that I chose the right hobby, that this hobby really just I'm immersed in it. It is something that captures my attention when I'm working on a project like this that is so magnetizing, is something that I want to have in my hands all the time. I can really lose track of time and I have no sense of time. And I think that's when you know the hobby, the craft is right for you. So I hope that you have something like that. I hope knitting is like that for you, because it's not always the case, but it is really nice just to be able to truly relax and not have to worry, you know, about time passing, no boredom. There's no boredom here. I am 100% content just knitting, and yeah, the time will just pass me by. So I'm not really keeping it a secret, but I haven't really mentioned it, I don't think, in this video. I did announce over on Instagram that we are pregnant. We're expecting our second baby coming in June in the summertime. So excited. But talking about time, time is just flying by there. It's just insane to me. Yeah, oh my gosh. So here I'm only just now finishing picking up the stitches and I'm trying to keep track of the first row for my repeats. That's crazy. But anyway, going back to time and this pregnancy. So pregnant, I'm 25 weeks pregnant as of the posting of this video. Yeah, I really couldn't tell you where the time went. Maybe in the first trimester things were slowed down a little bit, but as far as I'm concerned now, it's crazy to me that I'm over halfway there. That was a scary thought the other day when I had that realization. I'm so excited though, and I will be sharing a little bit more about the pregnancy separately. What I'm planning on knitting, of course. There are some plans there, but I will say that, I don't know, second baby syndrome, or if that's even like a thing, but you know, with the next one, the first one, it's all new. The second baby is just like, okay. In terms of knitting, because it's another baby boy, I don't know if I said that. And I'm just not as baby marathon focused as I was obviously when I was pregnant with Arthur. I didn't have any knit clothes for Arthur, so I wanted to knit all the things, and this time around I'm like, well, I already have a bunch of things that I put time and effort into, and maybe, just maybe, I should take this time to knit for myself. So that postpartum, I'll be more than stocked with a bunch of new outfits and new sweaters to wear. By 2 o'clock, I had finished 2 repeats of the first shoulder, and that's when I decided to switch projects and film something else. Okay, back at the kitchen table. I just filmed a knit and chat episode because since I had the free time, I wanted to make sure that I get as much filming in as I as I can, because I don't always have the time to do so. And I'm actually switching on another project, so I did put a little marker here. I got 4 rows in, so let's add that to what I was working on with sweater number 15. And yeah, just wanted to make sure that if I was going to spend some time not knitting on sweater number 15, I still needed to knit. So I wanted to do a knit and chat talking a little bit about the pregnancy. So that video is already up. If you haven't already seen it, definitely go check it out. But let's see, what time is it? 3:15. I'm gonna just finish this row on my levitate wrap, and then I'm gonna get back to sweater number 15 and see how much further I can get on the yoke. I think I can do it, actually. Well, no, I don't think so. What I think I can do is finish the shoulders and join for the neck, but I don't think that I'm going to make it all the way to the end of the front and join in the round. I just don't think that's gonna happen, because I only have a couple more hours to myself. And then we also have the nighttime routine and everything, dinner time, nighttime routine. We're gonna be doing all of that. I will be able to sit down in the evening for a couple of hours. Usually I get around 2 hours or so of knitting time, but since I've been knitting all day, I'm really wondering if I'm gonna want to knit. I do, while it is the time that I get, or I have the most time to knit, it's also the time where I get a little less motivated. So nap time is usually a time where I can get a lot of rows in within that 2 hours time frame, because normally he naps around 2 hours. But the 2 hours in the evening, it's hit or miss. Like last night, I just wanted to sit and veg on my phone, to be honest. So we'll see how we do today. Maybe because I have a goal in mind, I will push through and I will knit. But yeah, I will definitely keep you posted on that and see how I go. It has officially been 24 hours since I started this challenge, and we didn't get as far as we thought we would. It was very ambitious, and I don't think I really, when I said the yoke, I don't think I really thought through what that meant. But progress nonetheless, and this is starting to shape up to be a very beautiful sweater. So what did I accomplish in the day that I was knitting? Well, I accomplished 1 cable repeat and increase here on the back. That's where I started. And then we moved on and picked up over here on the left shoulder. We did the left shoulder and the increases. And finally, ended on the right shoulder, and all that's left is the increase part. In my mind, I think that my fingers go a lot faster, and this was a very interesting exercise to kind of see exactly how fast do my hands move. And I think in the back, it could almost take me an hour to do an entire cable repeat, and then in the front, I feel like it was taking me like 30 minutes or something to do a cable repeat. Or yeah, I feel like when I was timing myself for those banana muffins, I think I was only picking up stitches and doing the first cable repeat, and that took me 25 minutes, 30 minutes. So you know, it's good to kind of see, you know, just how long things really take and be reminded that you're spending a lot of precious time to make something. So you should be even extra proud of that. And yeah, it was a good reminder for me. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was interesting for you to follow along. Thank you so much for being here with me and seeing exactly how much I was able to knit in a day. If you like this video, definitely give it a like. That really helps me out. Maybe subscribe if you want to stick around, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!